What's going on, guys? Nick Lesagore here, Exit 12 Homebrew in the house. And I'm here, not brewing. I haven't been doing that. I haven't done that for about 3 weeks. I have a full fermentation space. My fermentation footprint is full. In the big fridge, I have 5 gallons of my weekend mulching blonde ale made with honey from the woman I give my grain to. I have the Best Friends Pilsner, Italian Pilsner, in one fermentation freezer, one fermentation freezer. In the other fermentation freezer, I have my smoked porter, my Stave Smoked Porter that I'm actually kegging today. I am prepping my kegging system, my transfer tubing, but I also, a few weeks ago, did some barrel transferring. I transferred the barrel-aged Coffee Imperial Milk Stout that I brewed back in August with my buddies from the BrewTubers Online Brewers Club, and I had to put it in a barrel. And so I did that a few weeks ago, and I took some footage. So while I get the transfer tubing ready, why don't you check out some of that footage? Okay, it is club meeting. We are now in the happy hour. And by club, I mean the BrewTubers Online Brewers Club, www.brewtubers.com. Check us out. But I got the club in my ear. I'm talking to you. And the reason why I'm talking to you is because I'm transferring to the barrel. This beer is going to be barrel aged, but it's a barrel aged Coffee Imperial Milk Stout that I brewed back in August. I had 5 other BrewTubers over my house. We all brewed 5 beers, and this is the last one to be conditioned and sent out to them. So we did the split batch IPL, with one with Zacco, one with Talus hops. We did a Partaguile Porter that was it was the second runnings off of this stout. We did an Oktoberfest. So, in this beer, we've done a lot of beers. There was a lot of beers that day. 5 beer brew day. Anyway, I'm going to be transferring off of coffee beans. I think it's 16 ounces possibly of Pete's Major Dickinson's coffee beans that have been sitting in here for months. And honestly, I should have done this a lot sooner. I should have done this a lot sooner, but I hadn't gotten around to it. A lot of things going on. But I'm going to be switching things up this year, always experimenting. And so one thing I'm going to be doing is I'm adding yeast to the keg. I'm going to be adding this yeast to the keg. It's from Lallement, CBC1. It's yeast specifically for cask and bottle conditioning. You may be asking yourself, Nick, why are you adding yeast? And why are you adding it to the barrel? Well, I'm adding it to the barrel because this thing's done on coffee beans, I think. And I'm adding yeast because right now our finishing gravity is 1.057. No bueno. That's too sweet. We need to get down more. Excuse me. We need to get down more. I've never used cask and bottle conditioning yeast before, but we're going to be trying it out. I'm actually going to be adding 2 packs because the gravity right now is 1.057. So I'm going to add 2 packs after I transfer, and I bought a new bung that has a hole drilled through it with an airlock. I haven't used an airlock in years. So we'll transfer into the barrel. We've got a sample. We pulled gravity, as I mentioned. We're at 0.57. We'll take a little taste test sample after. But let's go ahead and transfer over to the barrel. I know there's a lack of light, but you might be able to see we got some sweet, sweet goodness going into the tube and into the barrel. One of the other things I wanted to mention was I've had this barrel for a long time, a real long time. And one of the important things with barrel maintenance is you have to find ways to clean it that isn't using traditional cleaning products. And so what I do big thanks to my boy Billy, Gam Dude Brewing, my best friend. He sent me a teapot. It's a stainless steel teapot, and he gave me this little piece. I may have shown this before to the club, to YouTube, but what this piece is, it's an adapter that goes on to the spout of the teapot. And then I put a hose in that connects from the teapot into the barrel, and I steam clean the barrel. I've done that twice on this barrel here within the last month, I would say. I just did it before transferring. And what you want to do is when you have a piece like this, he actually manufactured this at his work. I'm sure maybe you can buy something, but you got to be friends with him if you want to get one that's already fabricated. But anyway, so the reason why you do that is what you want to do first is you want to clean it for at least 10 minutes. I do 30. It's probably overkill. But what you want to do is you want to get some moisture back into that barrel, especially if it's been sitting dry. I let water sit in mine for months and months. And in the research I've done and in talking to Billy, that's not great. It creates bacteria. Bacteria can get in the barrel. And so I'm going to stop doing that from now on. But what I'm going to do is, after I empty this barrel into a keg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of handles of some decent whiskey in there and then just rotate the barrel every so often, because you want to keep the wood in the barrel. You want to keep that, nice and wet. You want to keep it moist. You want to keep the barrel sucking up any type of liquid except for water. And so you want to keep it so that it stays expanded, because when it dries up, the wood can, the way the wood is, structured with the barrel is that when it dries up, it condenses. You want it to stay expanded, because if you don't, when you go to fill it randomly, if the barrel's dry, you're going to have a lot of leaking. So that's kind of the method that I went with. It's been really successful for me, at least for the past year that I've had this. The stout that I transferred in this barrel, the anniversary stout from the year before, really came out well. So I'm really excited about this. We'll see how this goes. I should get pretty close to 5 gallons on here, because I'm pretty sure I had over 5 gallons in the fermenter. I didn't want to open it, but that's what we're going with. Okay, at some point, I'm maybe midway through the barrel transfer. I'm gonna hit my scissors with sanitizer and 1 package of yeast. Hit it with sanitizer. I'm gonna stop this. I'm going to pull the tube out of the barrel, which I'm sure is riveting. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it, connect it here. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. Very oaky. Okay, we're going in with our first pack of yeast. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn this spout back on. And there we go. We're going to continue transferring. Okay, we got a little bit of a mess on our hands. I overfilled the barrel, so we definitely had 5 gallons. So I had to basically siphon some out with a plastic eyedropper. But I was able to get enough space, I hope, to add a second package of yeast. I'm gonna put this probably on this rolling unit here, and I'll put some towels over it to keep it warm. It's 68 down here, which is great. Pitch in the second package of yeast. And in honesty, I don't even know if this is gonna work. I don't know if this is gonna re-engage the yeast is gonna re-engage the beer and if it'll ferment, but we'll find out. Here we go. Got a stopper to put on top. Actually, what I think I want to do, I'm going to pull this out, I'll hammer in the bung just a little bit, and I'll throw the airlock back in. I'm going to keep an eye on this to make sure, hopefully it doesn't, because here's the thing, if it overflows, there's basically nothing I can do about it. If you have an idea if it overflows, let me know. I'm more than willing to hear it out. I'm going to spray down the inside or the outside. All right, let's make sure I don't pull my back out. All right. I'm transferring the stout that I had Dave and Billy, and there were a bunch of us that came over my house in August. I just transferred it into an oak barrel. So I'm just recording some content for it. Okay, so we have a towel. We're gonna put a towel on here just to keep temperature control looking all right. We really wanna just make sure, you know, what I'm basically doing this for is just to make sure if there is reactive fermentation, if the fermentation starts up again, I just want to make sure that at least when it overloads the barrel, when it leaks out of the barrel, I just want to make sure that it ultimately will catch on some of the towel. For those of you curious, this is my new way of cleaning my transfer setup, my transfer tubing and filtering. This is my new way of cleaning and sanitizing it before I transfer a beer. Now that I have the sink, all I have to do is connect the lines. I have my CO2 tank right here, and I connect to the keg, and I have a cleaner keg, a water keg, and a sanitizer keg. I just take turns transferring, running it through. That's all. And then what I do is when I feel like I've done a good enough job, I then take apart. So what you want to do is you want to empty the filters in the housing because it may not mix very well. So like I have water in here now. I'm going to go to sanitizer next. I'm concerned that if I don't empty, that all the sanitizer isn't going to get into the filter in the housing. So that's my process. I take it, I unhook, move the keg over, take my Sanny keg, gobble, I connect the CO2, turn it on briefly, just a little bit, and we're off and running. The CO2 situation, you know, it wastes quite a bit, but that's what I got right now in terms of cleaning the transfer setup. One of the first things I do before I keg is I take a sample. Now this had some water in it, some cleaner. I use this little handy dandy tubing setup I got years ago. It's probably the only thing that I still use from, you know, years ago when I started homebrewing, buying things. So I pull some off. It's a standard 5-gallon keg, so I know I won't be yielding 5 gallons. I've also been taking some samples. But here it is. I just need just a little bit to get a gravity sample, and we'll do a little tasting. Okay, here's my kegging setup. What I do is I have to grab the CO2. Please pardon the outfit. I was doing some yard work earlier and realized I need to keg this beer. So I got the scale at the bottom. I'm gonna plug this into my my liquid. I'm gonna hang that for now. Plug this in. These are my batteries from my lawnmower. Okay, this is connected. I always got to remember to tare it. Like I said, I won't get a full 5 gallons, but I should get a decent amount. Gonna connect the gas. Boom. And then the only thing left to do, oh, I do have to put the spunding valve on. Put the spunding valve on. I have to tare it again. All right, and now we are going to transfer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let off some gas. Oh, it was just a little bit. Okay. I'm going pretty fast here, so I'm just going to slow it down a little bit. Okay, and we're transferring. You can see here, we're transferring. I have the spunding valve here, so we'll start to see pressure build at some point. And then I have this. This is a 1/3 cup of water and a teaspoon of gelatin. I mix it up first, and then I heat it for about 15 or 20 seconds to get it to around 100 degrees. And I'm actually going to pop open the top on that keg. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it in, probably around 5 pounds or so. Now, what I've found with adding gelatin this way, it's the most successful for me. And the reason why is because what I found is when I add it just into the keg and then I transfer the beer on top of it, what can happen sometimes is the gelatin, especially if I don't mix it well enough, sticks to the bottom of the keg. And then it's like a bear to get out when the beer finally kicks. Okay, I'm gonna pop the top. Oh, that was a nice hiss. Pop it. Drop it in. And very nicely mixed. Very nicely mixed. There's a little bit, so what I might do is just grab some water. I'm going to grab some RO water. Okay, and then I'm going to take a spoon, something I can find. Oh, measuring cup, perfect. Hit it with some Sani. Get a real good, get all that gelatin that was stuck on the bottom. Okay, throw that in, gobble. There we go. Pop the top back on. And we're good to go. Let the pressure rebuild. As you can see, the gelatin, there's still some left. Still a decent amount left there. So, but I've been fishing it around with my finger, so I don't think I'm going to mess with it. But there's still a decent amount. But that'll get dumped. But that's the frustrating thing about gelatin. You really got to be on top of it. You really got to make sure you mix and mix and mix. And I usually mix until clear. And then I throw it in the microwave. I get it to 100 degrees and I bring it down and I immediately add in between press and record, talking to you guys. Some things happen from time to time. So it's a dark beer. I'm not overly concerned with the clarity, but we'll see how clear it can get. Okay, we're shooting for 1.009. The last gravity I took We're at 012. Okay, looks like 011. It's a little bit of foam in here. Let me try another sample. People have said that you need to degas your samples before using the Easy Dens. I haven't found that to be the case. Okay, 012. Okay, that's where we'll stick at, 012. So we're a few points short, and I know that this beer we were a few points short of our OG. So we'll take a look here. Put in 1.012. Oops, 013. 012, sitting at 4.2% ABV, which is within range. So we'll take it. Fermenter volume is 4.75 gallons. I expect to get maybe 4.25, 4.5. And that's what we're sticking with. Okay, here's the sample, close up. It's actually decently clear. It's nicely clear even without, I don't know if you could be able to see that, but it's nicely clear even without the gelatin. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's dark, so it is what it is, right? But that's nice. So, the smell test. It's got a nice smokiness character. The smokiness has definitely faded, which is good. It's not as heavy on the smoke. Just checking on the ferment. I mean, on the transfer. There is a roasty character on it that I really like on the back end. I mean, this would be perfect sitting by the fire, honestly. I'm going to go in for a sip. I get a little bit of a chocolate, too, like a sweet. That might be the malt. L'chaim. Oh, nice. That's nice. The sample's a little bit more aqueous than I would want, especially for 4.2. We'll see how it carbonates. I feel like this is going to have a decent mouthfeel for as low ABV as it is. And the smoke character really has subsided quite a bit, especially on the flavor. The roast kind of takes over on the back end. That's going to be a fun beer. I like smoked beers. I really should brew more of them. But we're transferring away. Yeah, so that was a fun transfer. Overfilling the barrel was something that's never happened to me before. So that was cool, knowing that, there's definitely 5 gallons in that barrel. In terms of the yeast, pitching the 2 packs of the cask yeast, I haven't seen any activity. I've popped the bung once or twice and I haven't seen any activity. It doesn't mean activity is not occurring. I'll take a gravity reading in a few more months. I'm going to be kegging this up in probably mid to late July, depending on when I have the guys over in August, because I want this not only carbonated but canned up so that they can bring some home. So we'll see how that goes. The FG is very high, that's for sure. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues carbonating and what that looks like.